Hello and welcome to NewFilmmakers Los Angeles in partnership with Movie Maker magazine. My name is Danny DeLillo and we are at Sunset Gower Studios in Hollywood. I'm delighted to be joined with Jacob with his video, Cry. Let's take a look at the clip. Thank you so much, Jacob, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for bringing your wonderful music video here, your fantastic short film here. For those that haven't seen it, tell us a brief synopsis.
So Cry is part 3 of a 4-part series, but for this video in particular, our main character, who's also the artist, Sam, kind of finds himself in this purgatory state, this like endless desert. And as he's wandering this endless desert, he finds this bright red door, and this door kind of leads him on this journey of the different stages of a toxic relationship and Earth trying to pull him back to life, just for him to end up back in the same place because he can't decide where he needs to end up.
It's a brilliant idea.
Thank you.
Honestly, I felt like it sort of encapsulated some of my crazy dreams.
Yeah.
And then my kind of scary thing of not being able to get out of a certain place, or the curiosity of going for a certain door.
Yeah, exactly. That's like, I always had this thing where like if I'm at a place, I really like to have a car so I can leave if I need to. It's like a weird like, if I'm like, if I don't have a car and there's like no possible way for me to leave, I'm just like, it kind of irks me a little bit. So I guess that kind of endless feeling maybe made its way into there.
Yeah, and like the endless feeling is kind of it's almost like a scary thing, you know, when it happens. So you kind of created this world.
Yeah.
You say it's part of a 4-part series.
Yeah. So like the whole journey of the 4 music videos, it starts off with this, like, every music video has like an interesting thing to it. So the first one's called Fly Away, and it has this, starts off with him in space. And like the cool thing about that is it explores the downfalls relationship as he comes crashing down to Earth and like lands in the water, which like for contextual, like what's happening in real life is that he got hit by a car. He's like coming back down from the ground of being on Earth. The second music video is supposed to represent like his ascension to heaven, and that one was fun because it was in a roller skating rink. We shot it in 16mm film, and it's like all like 80s based.
Cool.
Just for it to hard cut back to digital at the end, as he realizes this is not really where he wants to be either, and lands him in purgatory, leading into this video as he's wandering through the desert, finds the door, which is like supposed to be pulling him back to Earth. He denies it, ends up back in purgatory, and that letter is supposed to set up the final part, which is called Second Choice, and he ends up in this like really white matrixy room that has that red door again and the white door. So it's like, you want to go back to Earth and live your life, or do you want to move on to the afterlife? And so, spoilers for how it ends. His like girlfriend through the series kind of intervenes and tries to pull him back through the memories, showing like why they were happy together. But they end up back in the same place where they broke up, same location that started this music video series. And he kind of realizes there that he could go be with her and start this over again, but he'll just end up back here again. They ended for a reason, or like in this video, his life ended for a reason. So he chooses to do the hard thing and let her go, turns and like walks through the white door, and then that's how it ends. So it's very interesting.
I want to see them all, Jacob.
I'll send them all to you, man. I'll send them to you in order. We have been working on a cut that like cuts it into like chronological order and stuff. But we haven't released that yet. So if there's some demand, maybe we will.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, firstly, congratulations on making like, you know, a quadruple set of films, and then through the lens of music artists as well. How did this whole concept go about? Like, obviously, you heard the music, work with the artist. How did that happen?
So it helps when the artist is your brother, and you live with your brother. So you know, it was always weird because our sister Hope Harding is also a musician, and she was always the music one. My brother Sam was the actor, and I was the director. So right before coming out to LA, he started to dabble in music, and he had this like 6-song EP he wanted to make. He had already all the songs made. And then it's like, let's do music videos. And initially it was going to be all 6 songs, but we ended up cutting it back to 4 because of money. And so initially started with the first one, Fly Away. And then we really like Jaden and Joji and like The Weeknd, and we feel like a lot of their music videos have this like kind of like connective narrative piece to them, especially Joji with his what album was it?
I
cannot remember which one. And it's not In Tongues. It's I can't remember. I'm sorry, Joji. I love you, man. But his red one where he's like, I don't know. But it's a great album. But like that, those music videos particularly like had a weird connective vibe to them. So we started from the get-go the idea of connecting these music videos, but we had just had the one. And so I remember I was on my way back from a job one day. I was like driving this cargo truck full of equipment, and I just like decided that I had like an hour drive. I turned off the music and I like turned on like my voice memos, and I'm like, I'm going to work out how these music videos connect to each other. And then for that hour, I just went over different ideas until I finally like figured out a loose connection of these music videos, and then went back to him and talked with him about more in depth about how that can all work out and what this whole story is. And so once we had it out, we started studying towards that. We kind of did George Lucas some things because like we had made the first one without a full idea of where we were going. So we had to kind of go pull certain things like, oh, well, this actually means this when it never did in the first place. Sorry, George, for pointing out your stuff. But, we were able to work it out in the end, and we're very proud of it. It took like 2 years overall.
You really should be, honestly, and you obviously got a very multi-talented family. So yes. I love how you're all working together. And
yeah, I just did my sister's music video just came out too. So
oh my goodness.
And my brother acts in it. So that one's the first like full Harding triple threat. So
I love it. Seriously, well done. In reference to Cry, like I mean, goodness me, like it was such a scene that you set up for us, out there in the middle of nowhere, and then you took us into this world. Like, how did those ideas come about? Where did you shoot? What was that experience like on that set?
Initially, like the desert was there for a long time, and so finding the desert was difficult because like Sam and I really wanted those desert sandy dunes, and all the deserts around us are very flat, very rocky.
Yep.
And we had settled on one that was kind of a little bit more duny, but we had found the Imperial Sand Dunes, which is where we shot, but it was like 4 hours away. And initially, Cry was going to be like a 3-day shoot, desert first day, set up for everything, and Sam by himself, and then the final day doing all the different people and stuff. And we had gone to my DP, and in one of our meetings, I talked about how much we really wanted those sand dunes. And I told him about, we found this place, it's 4 hours away. And he was like, tell you what, give me a month when I'm free again, and we'll do a drive. So we ended up, a month after shooting, drove out 4 hours. He actually hit my car on the way there too, which was fun. But we got it all worked out. We're still friends. We drove out 4 hours, filmed for 4 hours, drove back 4 hours. It was a one-day thing, quickly getting as much as we can. Like, it was funny, I was telling someone yesterday, like that first scene where he's like walking over the hill and then falls and where the door is, if you were just to pan right, there's a parking lot. Like, it's like, we're just like that's right so cool. there. So like, it's such a cool place. So if you're looking for, and Return of the Jedi was shot there too, so it's cool to like be somewhere that has a part of film history.
Absolutely.
And so like, if you're ever looking for a place to go shoot those sandy dunes, Imperial Sand Dunes is where you need to go.
Oh, I love that.
But for the actual like inside stuff, Sam had the idea of, cutting between a party and a not party. It's kind of how he first suggested it to me, because the song itself has these really somber bits, and then like suddenly like increases more like rock stuff, and then goes back down. And we wanted to find a way to kind of match that. And I'd always wanted to do a oneer. And so the idea of cutting from one oneer to another while trying to keep him and the camera in the same place sounded like such an interesting idea to help us stand apart, but also like challenge myself too, because it's like that's just taking it a step forward. Like figuring out one is one thing, but now figuring out how to properly intercut it with another one was very difficult. So shout out to my editor Jake Gum for figuring out that. I love you, man. You're the best.
Good job. What is next for you and your amazing siblings?
So for me and my brother, we recently secured $20K to start funding towards a feature film called "It's Okay, I Like Being Alone."
Congratulations!
Thank you.
To get those grant like that is incredible.
It was actually through crowdfunding, and it was a difficult time. But initially, it was for a concept short. But we've been kind of talking and looking at other grants and possibly just applying that $20K towards a full-length feature, because the feature's already written. That's what we wrote first, and then to shorten it down to the concept short. But it's a romantic drama, primarily focusing on kind of the mental side of depression and anxiety after a breakup and losing someone that you assumed you were going to be with for the rest of your life, while also trying to move on with someone else because you think that's the right thing to do. That's what people tell you to do. It's like, it's time to move on. It's time to go to someone new. And how that can kind of harm you from actually being the person you're supposed to spend the rest of your life with. So,
oh man, I love that. Sounds like my life.
Yeah, sounds like a lot of our lives.
A lot of our lives, exactly. No, I love that. I just to kind of finalize, I think obviously you've worked, in narrative and you've done that, and obviously this being, just a great world of videos that you create for us, music videos you create for us. Just for any filmmakers out there, like, what kind of advice when you're making a music video would you give? I
would say really boil down to what you're trying to say. Like, what you're trying to do within the video is important, and find a way to make yourself stand out. So many music videos are like the exact same. And this is probably bad for me to admit, I don't watch very many music videos because of that. Because I see one and I'm like, that's the same one that also just came out with this artist. Like, there's not that much different about it. So make yourself stand out, find something that can make it original. And if you want to do narrative filming, you've just found your way into these music videos, then find a way to tell a story. I never thought I would do music videos, and I've directed more music videos here in LA than I have narrative films. But what I have become known for is like narrative-based music videos. So like when people reach out to me for a music video, it's because they want something more narrative-based. Yeah. And so if that's what you want to do, but you have an eye for music videos, then find that way to combine them. Yeah, absolutely. And you've made a music video that deserves to have, a big screen to be seen as a wonderful story inside a really, really good musical piece. I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you so much. Well, listen, we're very excited for whatever you and your wonderful siblings from Kansas City are producing and making next. But thank you for bringing Cry to us. Thank you. Thank you, Jake, everybody. Thank you.